Attacks like this have become the order of the day in the past weeks, with armed clashes between the National Congress Party (NCP) government in Khartoum, Sudan, and the Southern Sudan People's Liberation Movement (SPLA) government in Juba, South Sudan. The two sides accuse each other of using proxies in the struggle to control the country's rich oil, mineral, and water resources. But now, South Sudan is calling upon the UN to intervene and set up a committee after failed talks earlier to resolve the conflict.
You know, the Security Council has passed Chapter 7, that the involvement of the UN between the two countries will be based on Chapter 7. And Chapter 7 would require a military force to be between the two armies. So if you have a military force by the UN system, I'm sure they will be able to tell who is contravening which border or not, and we are supporting that.
Separately, a Sudan delegation is also in the country and has decided to take its fight to Parliament as the South appeals to the Ugandan public.
This is part of what is going to begin as a deep conversation and deep dialogue on the matter of peace and security of the region.
Earlier this month, following weeks of armed clashes during which Juba says that Sudan bombed its oil fields, South Sudan's armed forces invaded deep into Sudan and took control of Heglig, a major oil-producing region that provides most of Sudan's income. And ever since, peace talks to try and control the conflict were initiated but have since failed.
Our neighbors in the south decided otherwise. They decided to take it by force. They stopped the dialogue. So it is the responsibility of our partner to stop from aggression, to allow a normal flow of dialogue to continue. They stopped it. They opted for war, for aggression.
The two sides continue to trade accusations, and only last month, African Union mediator Thabo Mbeki warned the Security Council that both sides are locked in a logic of war, with hardliners increasingly in control.
He calls us insects. One of our leaders was saying, frankly speaking, if Bashir could have converted us to insects, we might have chosen to be mosquitoes. And we'll definitely give them cerebral malaria, and that will have solved our problem.
We want to end their occupation to Sudan's territory. We want to expel this force outside our country.
So far, the African Union called onto the two countries to withdraw their forces unconditionally from the disputed areas and settle their disputes over oil, citizenship, and boundary issues within 3 months or face binding international arbitration. In the meantime, both states are reaching out to the international community for a solution to the conflict. South Sudan has 75% of the oil resources, but it is dependent upon pipelines through its northern neighbor to export its oil, which mostly goes to China. Kadoda, NTV.